Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. In this video, we are looking at the NBA slate for Tuesday. We have 10 games starting at 7 p.m., so let's get started. As always, if you enjoy the videos, appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Hopefully, this slate goes well. There's been some blowouts and stuff the last couple of days that has made it a bit tougher. Personally, I don't know, maybe some of you guys had a lot of success recently, but hopefully today, some of these games stay closer, and there's no foul trouble or anything that these players are dealing with. Let's get started with the point guard position, where we have Luka Doncic, 12-2. He has a great matchup going up against the Pistons. They're at home. Good chance that they should win this game pretty easily. Luka only played 28 minutes against the Hawks because he picked up his fifth foul early in the third quarter. So he had to sit for that whole third quarter and then sit for some of the fourth quarter as well. But overall, he's been playing really well. Another triple-double for him in limited minutes last time out. And they are shorthanded right now because, not only is Tim Hardaway out, but Maxi Kleber is out. And Doncic is having to play a lot more minutes at point guard, even play a lot of minutes alongside Jalen Brunson. You have James Harden is questionable. Hopefully he plays today. I believe he will. They need him out there because there's no Kyrie today, and they are trying to avoid their ninth straight loss. So at this point, the way things are going, if they continue losing games, they're not even going to be in the playoffs. But I expect them to, as long as none of these guys get moved at the deadline, like Harden doesn't get moved. They definitely are going to make a push still once they get Kevin Durant back. So Harden just has to step up. Him and Kyrie have to figure it out and play alongside each other. But at home, he's going to be by himself for this one. Yeah, he's going to have Patty Mills as his second best option. Go ahead and put him in. He's questionable. It's the 7:30 start time, so we should know this news. But if he's in, I would like to play him at home. Then we have LeBron, also pretty affordable at 10.5. He makes sense as a pivot, or you can play him alongside Harden is trying to pay up for multiple studs today. He's going up against the Bucks. This game is going to be one that you can look to target with both sides. She'll be able to put up some points here. Should be a high-scoring game and one pretty good for fantasy. The Lakers have their three guys in there with James, Davis, and Westbrook, but Westbrook, his minutes have come down recently, and for good reason. The second tier of studs, you have Ja Morant and Trae Young. And both guys are in pretty good matchups here, but I kind of like getting up to the 11K Harden or the 10.5 LeBron before I get to 10.1 Morant or 98 Trae Young. The Suns are on a back-to-back here, so Booker and Paul, but they ended up losing. Oh, I ended up winning yesterday. It got really close at the end, even though they had a huge lead going into the fourth, but they only won by 3 points. Going into Philly, the Sixers have been rolling. Wouldn't be surprised if they decide to hold one, probably Chris Paul out for rest today. He's played a lot of games in a row, but assuming that both of these guys are in, not one that I'm feeling great about getting to either one. I think there's some better plays. Definitely, if I had to pick between those two, probably still be Devin Booker, just because he can drop 35, 40 fantasy or 35, 40 real life points. Chris Paul has been great with the assists and getting you double doubles, but I just probably go with Devin Booker. 8K range. Halliburton's up to 86. That's pretty expensive. McCollum, don't know how much you want to. McCollum might even get traded in the next day or two because trade deadline is Thursday. They just traded away Norm Powell and Robert Covington for a bag of peanuts. So wouldn't be surprised if they decide to move CJ McCollum at some point in the next couple of days. But he just hasn't been as sharp, and he hasn't been looking as motivated with them not really doing anything this year with Lillard out and trading away their guys. So not one that I'm feeling great about. Cade is questionable. Hopefully he plays. If he does play, I still have no interest in him at 81. Fox has missed a bunch of time. Even if he does play, they expect him to be limited, but I have no idea if he's going to play or not. And then D'Lo is questionable. If he plays, he looks better if there is no Pat Bev, but not somebody that I'm forcing into my lineup. And then Maxey, pretty high-priced. Brogdon's also missed a bunch of games, and he's questionable. But even if he does play, you'd expect him to be on a limit after playing 3 games since December. Going down to the 6 and 7K range here, Barrett is 7K. The Knicks on a back-to-back. Going into Utah to now going into Denver seems like a fade. Seems like they're going to be struggling in this game. So pass on Barrett. I'm not going to pay 7K for Powell if he comes off the bench. Pass on Cole Anthony. I like a couple of other guys better. Suggs has played better than Anthony recently, and he's $1,000 less. Plays similar minutes in close games and been contributing with the assists and the rebounds, which has really helped his floor. Another guy that looks pretty appealing is Kevin Porter Jr. He's only $5,600. Price tag has come way down. The matchup is excellent here. Had an 8-8 game last time out against the Pelicans. Same exact matchup here. Just only difference is they're going into New Orleans in this one. I think he's cheap enough to where you can definitely consider Kevin Porter Jr. in a great matchup. Other guys that look somewhat appealing would be like maybe you can look at Jalen Green instead if you didn't want to play Kevin Porter, but I'd personally rather get up to Kevin Porter for 600 more. And depending on the Brogdon news, you can look to like Washington Jr. as a value pick, but that's basically it. At shooting guard, your pay-ups are Devin Booker, but I like Brandon Ingram a lot more than Booker today. The matchup is excellent for Ingram, and he's been handling the ball more the last couple of games, 12 assists in each one, so that is great for his fantasy outlook. It's great for his usage rate, which has already been at a really high rate this year, but going up against this terrible Houston team, they play no defense. He's averaged 60 against them in 2 meetings, so they put up 63 last game. That means he put up 57 in the previous game. You got to go with Brandon Ingram again today. Even though he's expensive, I just feel like it gives you 60, 65 point upside in this matchup at a barely above $9,000. I like him way more than like Halliburton, Jaylen Brown, CJ McCollum, Edwards. Not guys, except Edwards would be better if there's no Russell today, but those guys are priced appropriately. Barton has played better recently. He's going up against the Knicks at home, so he does give you a decent floor, but I don't know if the ceiling is usually there. At least against the Knicks, they don't play super fast. Suggs looks like a decent option at 6,000. Reggie Bullock has been playing great just because he's kind of taken over that Tim Hardaway role, and he's been having to start because they're just down on bodies. So it does give you a lot of minutes upside, and if he gets hot shooting, you can definitely put up 30s or 40s, but you definitely need a shot to fall. You don't have too many other great options here. Like Gordon, they said he's doubtful. He's listed as questionable, so I don't expect him to play. And that might open up the door for like more minutes for Kevin Porter, more minutes for like Josh Christopher at 41. But not too many other guys that look that appealing here. Moving on to small forward, you have Tatum at 99, LeBron at 10.5. Definitely prefer LeBron over Tatum. We have Middleton at only 78, coming off of a pretty, not a great game fantasy-wise. Didn't have to do much. It was like a blowout, and Bobby Portis was red-hot shooting. Giannis was doing his thing. Holiday had one of his better games of the season. So you definitely think Middleton can bounce back, but it's tough to get excited about Middleton at 78 when you have all the other guys that are in there for the team. You have Josh Hart at 65. He continues to just put up good numbers for fantasy every time he's been in the game and starting. He plays good minutes, doesn't take a ton of shots, but he gets you rebounds, gets you some defensive stats, gets you some assists. So given the matchup, I think he looks like a pretty good option that you can look to target. The 5K range, you have 3 guys that look appealing. Maybe even Duarte you can throw in the mix if there is no Brogdon, but I like Patty Mills a bit. Aaron Gordon looks fine at 58, appropriately priced for a guy that does give you some upside and has been playing better as of late in terms of just any sort of close game. He's been out there and playing like mid-30s in minutes, so he looks appealing. Then you have Patty Mills going up against the Boston Celtics, going to have to just have to score the ball a little bit more for the team, and so he definitely looks appealing. He's going to have to shoot a lot today, probably play well over 30 minutes. So you can go Patty Mills. You have Reggie Bullock at 56 as well, another guy that you're going to need to shoot the ball well and score. But I don't mind getting to Aaron Gordon here at this price tag. He does give you some upside. The price tag is reasonable. He was 6K, mid 6K recently, and has come down a bit. So plug him in against a big New York team. They're going to need to have his size out there. Other guys would be like Duarte, Franz Wagner. Both guys look appealing. 4K range, you have like Hunter at 46, looks decent, but the Hawks are almost basically fully healthy. Power forward, you have Giannis, who looks appealing against the Lakers. 11-8, a game that you should expect Giannis to just play a lot of minutes. Put up 66 with 47 real life points against them earlier. Definitely has that sort of ability in like a marquee matchup here. Sabonis was super frustrating. He had like 17 fantasy points in the first quarter, and then he was in foul trouble, and then he didn't play well the rest of the game. But you could look to him if there's no Brogdon, I guess, but I don't have too much confidence in him now, with the Pacers just looking to sell for the rest of the year. Other guys would be some value picks here, like maybe Covington if he decides to start today, or Finney Smith's been playing a ton of minutes. He's not great for point per minute production, but he is getting shots off, and he is playing like 42 and 39 minutes the last couple of games. Both were in regulation. But we have some good value down here in the 4K range, like Sengun at 45, who drew a start last game alongside Christian Wood without Eric Gordon, and that's probably something they're going to look to do, get Sengun some more minutes here as the season, it's not even half, well, it's basically half over, but as the season goes into the second half, and the Rockets obviously are not fighting for like playoff seeding or anything like that, look to get their young guys involved, and Sengun, a guy that does give you upside with all sorts of points, rebounds, assists, get you some defensive stats as well, and 45 is a very cheap price tag for him. You also have like a $4,100 Jay Crowder, who had a good game last night, 10-10-6 game for him with 35 fantasy points against the Bulls. He looks fine if you needed a value pick at 41. And then you also have $4,000 for Harkless, who has had two of his best games of the season back-to-back. Two of his better games of his career also back-to-back. If there is no Bagley once again and no Fox, you can look to him as a value, I guess. He's not like a must-play, but he could end up being a pretty good value pick, especially if he comes in low-owned, and he has been shooting the ball well recently. Moving on to center, your payups are Jokic, who looks excellent, but there's so many payups on the slate. You have Giannis, you have Jokic, Embiid, Harden, if he plays, LeBron, Davis, Cat. So many guys to pay off for. But Jokic against the Knicks isn't my favorite, just given the length of New York and how they play decent defense. But he's still always in play anytime he's on a slate. Same thing with Embiid. He's 12K. I'm not going to go out of my way to roster him, but he looks great. I probably like Giannis the best out of those three. And then going further down here in the 8K range, don't have much interest in like the Wood, Valanciunas, Nurkic tier. Feel like I'd probably end up getting up to those guys, to the studs, or go down a little bit for the value. Porter's been playing great. He's 66. You have a good price tag on I guess a good price tag on Hayes for not having Hernan Gomez, but he came off the bench last game and he still outproduced Valanciunas. He's probably going to end up getting more playing time soon, and he's already been getting good minutes recently. A couple of those games where he started. Last game was without, coming off the bench, but still without Hernan Gomez, who's out again today. So he's definitely going to get the backup five, and he's going to maybe get some minutes also just in front of Valanciunas. Other guys that look appealing for a value play would be like Dwight Powell, because he's playing a lot of minutes recently, 36 and 34, and that's because they don't have Maxi Kleber. There's no Porzingis, so they don't really have too many other guys besides Dwight Powell, and they also have Marquise Chris to play some of the center minutes, and it seems like Powell is definitely the preferred option between him and Chris, unless Chris is just dominating, but hasn't really done that much except for one game. But that's it for the DraftKings side. I'm sure we'll get a lot of news later, but if you're looking to get to some of these games that I expect to be high scoring, like Houston, New Orleans, Gordon has a good value at 58, and then definitely get to Harden if he plays without Kyrie, without Durant. So that's it for DraftKings. Let's go over to FanDuel. All right, on FanDuel, point guard plays. Most expensive guy is Luka. He's only 11-2, so he's a lot easier to get to than his DraftKings number. I like him more than Ja Morant, than Chris Paul. You do have a good price tag on Trae Young, also at $9,000, but you have some other guys that look appealing as well at the point guard position. Maxey is a fade at 86. I'm not going to look to play Westbrook or Fox or well, I guess you can look to Halliburton if there's no Fox, but I don't mind getting a Jrue Holiday against the Lakers after his great game last time out, and he should be out there. It should be a close game, hopefully. We never know with the Lakers, but if it's a close game, then Holiday should play heavy minutes. You have decent price tags on like Simons and Kevin Porter. Brunson looks to be a great play. He's like 69, I believe, on DraftKings, and only 58 on FanDuel. Same thing with like Patty Mills. He looks appealing. Jalen Suggs looks great at only 55 the way he's been playing recently. And then the 4K range, don't have much that looks that appealing. You just have a lot of guys in the 5 and 6K range that look good. So first guy I'm going to plug in is going to be Jalen Brunson. At shooting guard, definitely can go Luka if you wanted to. He's like the main pay up besides Harden. If Harden plays, he's only 95. It's going to be very tough to fade him, assuming he's a full go and they don't get blown out. Which Boston hasn't, even though they've been good defensively this year, they haven't blown out a ton of teams. except for his games where both Tatum and Brown got hot. We do have a good price tag on Devin Booker. He looks good compared to Max Diesel, 86 for some reason, compared to, I guess Booker looks better than Holiday and Brown and Middleton. 7K range Edwards, if there's no Russell, looks good. Hart looks fine at 67, but not a must play. I don't mind getting the Desmond Bane. He still plays good minutes. He's good with some of the defensive stats every now and then. And then the 5K range, you have Patty Mills, Reggie Bullock, and Jalen Suggs as my favorite in that range. 4K range, Jalen Green looks fine at his price tag, and you don't have too many other guys that look that appealing besides Finney Smith just because he's playing like 40 minutes a night. Moving on to small forward, Giannis looks excellent at 11.3. I mean, him and LeBron are similarly priced, only $800 difference. LeBron's at home. You can play LeBron if you wanted to. But if you have the salary, you might as well try to get up to Giannis. He should be able to have success against this Lakers' terrible defense. But Ingram is a must-play for me on FanDuel at only 78. Just way too cheap of a price tag. Same exact matchup. He dominated them both times earlier this year. Don't expect anything to change. And he's at home this time compared to on the road, so even looks better. Kevin Porter Jr., Josh Hart, Barton, 6K range look fine. Bane looks better than those guys, and then you can look to Morris if you wanted to at 61. Harkless is 6K on FanDuel, so definitely a fade. You can look to him at $4,000 on DraftKings if you wanted to get a piece of him, and then Duarte at his price at only 5K also looks fine, assuming there's no Brogdon. Power forward, you can look to pay up for Giannis if you wanted to do that. He's 11.3. I like Giannis more than Davis, but you can also make a decision between LeBron and Davis. I prefer LeBron over Davis. Not going to be looking to get to Randall after his big game yesterday, and it's a back-to-back going into Denver. Just a nightmare spot for a back-to-back, especially with all the minutes that they played yesterday. Gordon looks fine at 64. Looks a little bit better on DraftKings. I like Portis at only 62. He's been playing great. Hayes at 55, does give you some upside, but he's probably not going to get too much ownership. You do have a good price tag on like Sengun. He's 5K, especially if he starts again. Does give you upside to fill it up in the stat sheet. Also, Powell looks fine at 46, and you can go to Jay Crowder if you wanted to. And that's basically the main pieces. And at center, you have Jokic, also looks excellent at 11.5. So many good studs to pay up for. You're going to have to pick the right ones. Personally, I like Harden and Giannis, my favorites, and I'd probably be Jokic then LeBron. Not looking to get to anybody in the 8K range, really. Well, it's only Christian Wood or 9K range with Randall. 7K range, you can look to Nurkic. You can look to maybe Ayton. But we'll see. Ayton on a back-to-back. Don't know if he's going to play huge minutes. Valanciunas looks appealing at that price tag, but there is some risk that Hayes takes some minutes away from him. He's playing really well. I'm going to go ahead and put in Bobby Portis, a guy that's been balling as of late. In some of these games, he didn't play a ton of minutes, but a lot of those were in blowouts. Some of these games are blowouts, so that's why he didn't play a ton of minutes. But last couple, even last game was a blowout, and he still put up 41. But typically, he's going to looking at like 32 to 34 minutes in a close game. It should be one where they're looking to have him out there against like Davis and the size of the Lakers at times. But that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. Best of luck tonight, and I'll see you all next time.